Good afternoon, I'm Chris Sinachkite. Welcome to APTN National News. Another setback for the embattled and leaderless Métis National Council. The MNC announcing via a press release this morning that an annual general meeting and an election for a new president is once again on hold. The announcement comes after members of the Métis Nation British Columbia walked out of a meeting on Wednesday. The 41-year-old organization has been without a leader since October 1st, when Cassidy Caron's term came to an end. Right before her term ended, Métis Nation Saskatchewan withdrew from the MNC. That left just Métis Nation of Ontario, Métis Nation British Columbia, and the Métis Nation of Alberta. During a meeting in Edmonton on Wednesday, MNBC walked out over concerns with MNC's current governance structure. MNBC says it will not take part in an AGA or a vote for a new president. MNBC will decide whether to leave MNC altogether in late November. MNC, MNO, and MNA did not respond to requests for interviews. Just one day before the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations election, the Saskatoon Tribal Council held a press conference to raise questions about spending discrepancies within the organization. The James Smith Cree Nation also expressed concerns over funds they say they never received. APTN's Rachel May has more.
This is about transparency. This is about accountability to the people, the grassroots people of the First Nations people, but also to the non-Indigenous people, because this is Canada's money that's supposed to be here for people, and we need to be accountable and transparent for it.
In March, Indigenous Services Canada ordered a forensic audit of FSIN spending from April 1, 2019 to present. These audits can be used to gather evidence for possible legal proceedings. Yesterday, Saskatoon Tribal Chief Mark Arcand presented a 153-page internal FSIN audit that ended on March 31, 2023. He claimed that the 74 chiefs in the Assembly never received this document before making important financial decisions. APTN has not been able to obtain copies of this audit, and Chief Arcand would not share it when asked.
What we get is the annual report, which does not have all the information. Now, FSIN will tell you this audit was passed by the Chiefs in Assembly, and yes, it has been. However, I guarantee you, if the Chiefs had this proper documentation, they would have asked the same questions I'm revealing today in regards to this.
Arcand stated that FSIN is a $50 million organization with $14 million in deferred revenue, payments received for undelivered services. Another issue was a $2 million cash lease. Arcand mentioned FSIN lacked the home source revenue to make that payment. Chief Kirby Constant of James Smith Cree Nation also weighed in. He presented documents showing that during the COVID-19 pandemic, ISC sent $5.5 million for personal protective equipment for their members on and off reserve to the FSIN. Chief Constant and his band never got that money. Instead, FSIN sent them to an account in Ontario that never provided James Smith Cree Nation with the necessary pandemic supplies.
I sent emails to Bobby Cameron, chief of FSIN at the time, asking them for what was going on. All I was told, FSIN flowed $5.5 million to this numbered account in Ontario.
Chief Constant discovered something else.
I finally got the documents last week where it said $6.5 million was transferred from ISC to FSIN, not $5.5 million.
Chief Constant says there's no clarity on where that other $1 million went. This news came out just 2 days before the FSIN election on October 31st in Saskatoon. Incumbent FSIN Chief Bobby Cameron has not commented. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
And Rachel May will bring us an update on the FSIN election in our evening newscast. As we told you earlier this week, the final report into missing children and unmarked graves at residential schools has been released, and it's calling on the federal government to create an Indigenous-led national commission to investigate missing and disappeared Indigenous children.
Youth have been at the center of my work, and I ask that we always ensure their voices are heard and listened to. I've tried to
Canada's special interlocutor, Kimberly Murray, released her final report in Quebec on Tuesday during a gathering with survivors and experts from across the country. An estimated 6,000 Indigenous children died when they were forced to attend residential schools, but experts say that number could be much higher. The report also calls on Canada to refer itself to the International Criminal Court for investigation. A $50,000 reward is now being offered for information that leads to locating Dean Matinis Jr., who has been missing for more than 7 months and last seen in north central Ontario. On Monday, March 18th, 27-year-old Dean Matinis Jr. of Constant Lake First Nation was last seen at around 9:30 a.m. walking near the bush line along Highway 11. The last time someone saw him, he was about 6 kilometers west from Constant Lake First Nation, and the OPP believed he was trying to hitchhike towards Thunder Bay. The OPP, the James Bay Crime Unit, and the Anishinaabe Aski Police Service are investigating Matinis Jr.'s disappearance. He is 5'10" with an athletic build, black hair, brown eyes, a thin mustache, and slight sideburns. The OPP said he was last seen wearing a camouflage or beige jacket, blue jeans, brown boots, and possibly had a black Under Armour brand tote bag or brown backpack. Anyone with information is asked to contact the OPP, RCMP, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. A Conservative candidate who sparked controversy on the eve of the October 19th election in British Columbia did not win her Vancouver Island riding after a recount. Dr. Marina Sapochnikov made several racist remarks against Indigenous people, including calling them savages, in an interview with a university student earlier this month. Election night results showed Sapochnikov narrowly lost the newly created riding of Wandafuka-Malahat to NDP candidate Dana Lajeunesse by 113 votes. The tight numbers triggered a manual recount, which included mail-in and absentee ballots. The recount showed Sapochnikov lost the riding by 141 votes. Conservative leader John Rustad criticized Sapochnikov's comments and said she wouldn't be running again. Sapochnikov has since apologized for her comments and admits she will not run in politics again. An organization representing Canadian universities will now have a northern voice. Yukon University joined Universities Canada Tuesday, making it the 97th member to do so. Located in Whitehorse, Yukon University is the only university in Canada's north. It offers a mix of trades, college-level programs, and university degrees designed to meet the needs of northern communities. President and Vice Chancellor Leslie Brown says their membership allows the university to offer students nationally accredited credentials and degree programs.
Yukon University is an institution that is shaped by, has been visioned by, and every day we strive to uphold perspectives of First Nations people, particularly Yukon First Nations people. So that means that we can bring our unique voice, our unique contribution, and help shape national dialogues. So we are absolutely over the moon by this opportunity.
A society in Vancouver has partnered with other nonprofits to have community barbecues that serve hundreds of people twice a week. But as APTN's Tina House explains, serving food is not all the society does to help and give back.
All right, folks, I just want to take a moment to recognize this moment. We are about to serve our 500,000th meal. That's 500,000 meals we've served since we started. This is our 500,000th meal about to be served, and I just want to take a moment to celebrate that, and if you want to celebrate it with us. So, yeah!
And Yvette Redcrow is the 500,000th recipient today.
Thank you. It's an essential service for everyone. Thank you.
The Heart Tattoo Society started serving these community barbecues during COVID. And now, 3 years later, they are still here and growing. Every Monday and Thursday, chefs create gourmet meals, and on today's menu, they are serving turkey, pork, chicken parmigiana, stir-fried beef vegetables, rice, salad, fruit, and garlic bread. Francis Guerrero works at the Aboriginal Front Door Society. He says he looks forward to these community barbecues every week.
It's great, you know. I grew up in poverty, so I know what it's like to go to sleep with an empty belly, and these guys make sure that they don't go to sleep hungry. They're fed really well. Like, these guys provide great meals like every time they show up. And it's never the same. It's always very tasty.
And one of those chefs who also makes all the sauces, among other things, is Tene Chapudla. He's originally from Zimbabwe. He came to Canada 2.5 years ago and started volunteering with the Heart Tattoo Society, and now works full-time with them.
I started by doing sandwiches, then we started doing barbecue prep. It was awesome. It was great. And thinking about it, the way we've grown, it's totally amazing. We use food from food recovery. You wouldn't expect to get, you know, as many meals out or as many good meals out as we do, but because we have so many chefs on our team, it's amazing how people come together.
The Heart Tattoo Society began with a dream by founder Mackenzie Baxfield and her partner Evan, and she's proud to see how many people they have been able to help.
COVID hit, it was a real fear. It made me nervous and upset knowing that the downtown east side didn't have as many resources as it did before they made it another state of emergency. So I kind of freaked out a little bit, and I went to all my friends and I said, what are we going to do about the downtown east side? How are we going to help? And so this came to be.
It's expanded beyond where we're serving food for multiple organizations, making sandwiches, doing a grocery hamper program, free grocery store, storefront, and more.
And just a block away is the downtown Eastside Distribution Hub, a place the Society runs in partnership with the Overdose Prevention Society, where anyone can get free clothes, household items, and food.
Everything is heart-centered. They hire from the community. They sent me back to school when I wanted a break from the downtown Eastside. And, you know, they came to my graduation. They really are. It's like a big family.
And back at the barbecue.
Ooh, that looks good. Wow.
The Heart Tattoo Society serves between 400 to 600 people at each barbecue. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Miss Universe Canada Ashley Collingbull is hoping to make history yet again. We'll tell you where she's off to next when we're back in 3 minutes. Welcome back. We now go back to Vancouver, where elders and youth are learning the fine art of making Halloween treats. Once again, here's Tina House with this spooky report.
I think this is a great opportunity now to reset and make sure that the discrimination stops against First Nations children all over Canada, that it never happens again all over Canada, and that we ensure that every penny goes to maximum value for children and families. Compensation when...
Apologies for that. That was the wrong story. We'll try to bring that story back a little later in the show. Ashley Collingbull is the first Indigenous woman to win Miss Universe Canada earlier this year and Mrs. Universe in 2015. She hopes to make history again this November. These pictures were taken at the Vancouver International Airport on Tuesday, just before Collingbull flew down to Mexico City, where she will be competing in the Miss Universe competition. Collingbull, who is from the Enoch Cree Nation in Alberta, said she is honored to be the first Indigenous woman to represent Canada and says she can't wait to proudly share the beauty of her Indigenous culture with everyone in Mexico. The 73rd Miss Universe competition will start on November 16th with contestants from 130 countries. We now want to tell you about this week's web poll question. Over on our website we ask, do you think it's important for Canada's Governor General to be fluent in both English and French? Your answers are yes, somewhat, no, or unsure. Have your say at www.aptnnews.ca. Fraser Needham joins us now from Ottawa to tell us what's coming up tonight on Nation to Nation.
Coming up tonight on Nation to Nation, Mark Jahant has been covering Native American politics for more than 5 decades. We'll talk to him about the upcoming U.S. election. Indigenous stakeholders continue to discuss what should happen next, in long-term reform of the First Nations child welfare system. We'll talk to the president of the First Nations Child and Family Caring Society about that. And earlier this week, the Special Interlocutor on Missing Children, Unmarked Graves and Burial Sites released her final report. We'll talk to Roberta Hill of the Survivors Secretariat about that. All this ahead tonight on Nation to Nation.
Thank you, Fraser. We'll try this again. Now to Vancouver, where elders and youth are learning the fine art of making Halloween treats. Here's Tina House again with this spooky report.
Halloween is in full swing, with thousands of kids getting ready to hit the streets, dressed in costumes, and yards filled with ghouls, ghosts, and scary clowns to greet them.
Today I made sure that everybody was comfortable with making candied apples.
Here at the Aboriginal Health Society, Chef Ruby Harry is teaching a workshop on how to make candy apples and other treats.
You add water, sugar, corn syrup, and then you get it to 300 degrees, and then you put an apple on a skewer, you put the apple into the water, and this is what you come out with, candy apples. You can cut it up or eat it as is, but that's how candy apples are made.
Spooky fry bread is also on the menu today, as participants learn the art of making fluffy and light fry bread.
So the ingredients in here is flour, yeast, sugar, no oil. We just did the bare basics. There it is. Spooky bannock all day long. Here we go.
Tony Cairns is a regular and says he's always happy to see the great programs they offer at the Society.
They're feeding people, and they're making candy apples, and they're good people.
Chef Ruby Harry says she's so excited to be teaching these skills to everyone of all ages.
This is to ensure the community that it's a safe place to come and learn something, because candy apples is not easy to make, and it's super dangerous when you take sugars up to the 300-degree level. So today they felt safe making it. They made some really good candy apples, and they're going to enjoy it. It's super important because not everybody has a chance to come out and make stuff together as a team and build team in the community and let the community know they're supported and loved here.
And along with the candy apples and spooky bannock, participants also got to learn how to make chocolate-covered strawberries and marshmallows.
Woohoo! Happy Halloween! Spooky bannock at Vancouver Aboriginal Health Society.
Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Stick around, we'll be right back with more stories. Welcome back. Earlier this week, we told you the story of 100 members from the Saddle Lake Cree Nation who traveled to the Alberta legislature to ask for a meeting with the Governor-General of Canada. They say the federal government is not honoring the treaties and want the Governor-General to step in and help. Saddle Lake Cree Nation Chief Jason Whiskey Jack and other Indigenous leaders were given some time to speak to her. We recently spoke with Chief Whiskey Jack and Councillor Pauline Hunter from Saddle Lake Cree Nation to tell us more about that meeting. Chief Whiskey Jack and Councillor Pauline Hunter, thank you so much for talking to us today. My first question is, why did you choose to talk to the Governor-General, Mary Simon, instead of the Ministers of Indigenous Services and Crown Indigenous Relations?
I think the reason why we wanted to talk to the Governor-General is because we wanted to make our treaty stance nice and clear. We didn't sign any treaties with any organizations like AFN or the government of Canada. So we basically wanted to make that statement loud and clear.
Yourself and many of your band members traveled 2 hours to come to the Alberta legislature to talk with the Governor-General. Were you able to have that one-on-one conversation with her?
Yes, I had my one-on-one conversation with her for a half hour yesterday, and it was actually a really good meeting. You know, what the message we wanted to give to the Governor-General was taken well, and basically I think in the near future we're going to be moving forward with some of the issues that we need to deal with our treaties.
Are you able to speak to those issues? What issues did you discuss with her?
Some of the current bills and legislation that's been passed, those are some of the issues that we're actually dealing with, And, you know, we want to be heard. I think the reminder to Canada is that when we signed treaties, we honored our treaties, and now we're given that option for them to honor their part of the treaties, to honor us Indian people.
Councillor Pauline Hunter, do you feel like it was a productive meeting on your end?
Yes, I actually do. And I'm very proud of our nation for coming together to stand in unity and to represent and to show that we all are very concerned and we care about our children, our families, our future, those yet unborn. And it's to serve as a reminder to everybody that we have a treaty, a sacred treaty and covenant with the Crown. And I think at the same time, it's a reminder to the Governor General, as she is the Crown's representative, that there is a lot of unfinished business that needs to be discussed. And we want our treaty funding and our relationship to be direct with the Crown. And we want a meeting with the King, with the Crown as well. And there's going to be, you know, I think in terms of moving forward, the expectation is we're going to be commemorating 150 years coming up in 2026. We want to rekindle that relationship. We want to invite, you know, the Crown back to our nation. In 1976, the Crown Queen Elizabeth, I believe, was here in our nation to commemorate 100 years of treaty making. So we need to come to a mutual understanding of what the treaty really means to us.
And really briefly, did the Governor General make any commitments?
The Governor General made some commitments and moving forward to actually, you know, working on some of, I guess, the dynamics of how we're going to be working with our agreements and everything else, and especially, you know, for us to actually draft up something that within a letter form to actually deliver that message to the King on our behalf as treaty people. And that's probably one of the best news that we Saddle Lake band members have for our nation, is to get the message directly to the King. And I really want to acknowledge and thank her for that.
Chief Whiskey Jack and Councillor Pauline Hunter, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that's your midday newscast for this Thursday, October 31st. Happy Halloween, everyone. I hope Cookham has some spooky bannock for you. From everyone at APTN National News, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again. Exe.